And before we get started today, my friends, of course, I have links below for you to support the broadcast and the show. First up, AAA. Yes, the folks that help you by the roadside. AAA has great car services, travel programs, insurance, roadside assistance. You know what? I myself, from my parents, get a AAA membership every year for my birthday. It's a great gift to gift to someone that you care about. Check out the link below, AAA, for all of your travel needs. And then, my friends, of course, if you're a social media guru like I am, you need a social media scheduler. You need to use Social Bee. It's a social media management tool that enables posting across all your profiles. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Google My Business, and TikTok. Has a lot of integrations like Unsplash, Gifly. You can use RSS feeds, recycle evergreen posts, schedule posts, have multiple workspaces and team collaboration, even track your links. Check them out at socialbee.io. Like I said, click on these links, help supports the show and me as well. All right, let's get started with this podcast, shall we?
Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur pizza deliveryman, and Happy New Year, my friends. It is New Year's weekend. If you're listening to this on Saturday, it is 2022. If you're listening on this via podcast or the Sunday repeats, it's 2023. Straddling the years like a professional straddler. And welcome, my friends, to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. And my friends, AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting and talk and music shows throughout the day. All we do is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want you to be part of the conversation. I want to engage with you, so you can follow me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Facebook at Colt S. Taylor. I'm on Cameo, Counter Social at Colt S. Taylor. And of course, the podcast version of the show, if you miss a weekend, and that's okay, can be found at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. All right, my friends, let's get started with a New Year's special edition of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Now, my friends, at the end of the year on many programs, we like to do a year in review, reviewing the best stories that they have talked about throughout the year, like a clip show, going back to the classics. Well, not here, my friend. No, sirree. There's no rerun, no clip show, the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor. All new stories this week, and I can't think of a better way to start the end of 2022 than a Kanye West update. My goodness, I feel like we're best friends now, although, you know, given his recent actions, saying you're best friends with Kanye West, maybe not the career move you should do. But, breaking news, Kanye West missing for days, possibly weeks. Is this some nefarious plot by the deep state to keep his voice silent? Is this a revenge for Parler for the deal falling through? Did him asking Donald Trump to be his VP do him in with MAGA? Well, no, he is probably avoiding a lawsuit. Yes, that's right. His former manager is trying to serve him with a subpoena, and gosh darn it, can't quite find the Easter there. Can't find Kanye West. He is missing. Now, there was some thought that something nefarious had happened, but there actually isn't any evidence that he's perfectly fine. He's just people can't find him. People can't find him. Apparently, Kanye's former business partner has brought a lawsuit claiming he has not been paid for a year and a half of guaranteed work from the rapper. He only ended up working for 3 months, and he was paid for those months, but he had a contract for 18 months of work. So, That's a contract. He broke the contract, and now Kanye is refusing to pay him. According to the lawsuit, it said, when confronted by the 18-month commitment that had just been made, Kanye stated words to the effect, the 18-month term was bull. You're insane for even thinking I would stick to it. Well, he did sign it. So I imagine the judge will want him to stick by it. But you can't serve a subpoena to someone if you can't find them. So, friends, if you see Kanye out there, the Easter, let him know his manager's looking for him. There's no reward for finding him. And honestly, I wouldn't engage him whatsoever because you may go insane trying to wrap your mind around on what he's actually trying to say. Next up, my friends, is some international crime news. But before we get to the exact details of it, it involves kickboxer and social media influencer Andrew Tate. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, many of you, who is Andrew Tate? And I did at one time, well, like 3 weeks ago, I knew he was around, and a lot of chuds really looked up to him for some reason, like the worst people were big fans of him. But I knew nothing else about him. I was happy not to know who this guy is. I mean, he looks like a dime store smarmy Lex Luthor, okay? So, just to give a bit of background, he's a bit of a controversial person. He's a kickboxer and quote-unquote social media influencer. He has a online academy where people pay a monthly membership to learn advice from him on how to make passive income in online industries called Hustlers University. So just to set the tone here of his marketing style. He was on Big Brother in 2016, got kicked off. He was on Twitter, but got kicked off in 2017 after writing tweets promoting violence against women. Let's see here. Has over 4 million followers on Instagram. His hashtag on TikTok has over 12 billion views. He claims to be a trillionaire. The world's first trillionaire. And no proof, obviously no proof. And oh gosh, what else here? He says there's 100,000 people paying him $49 a month so he could teach them how to be wealthy. Smokes cigars, and he's pretty scummy. Has a brother, and does a lot of scams, obviously, and it just says a lot of terrible things. Thinks that men can cheat but women can't, that men are better than women. You're just your general slimeball person. Well, anyways, he decided to start some beef with Greta Thunberg, the Swedish climate activist. He posted a tweet on December 27th that says, "Hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. My Bugatti has a engine name. My 2 Ferraris have engines. That's just a start. Please provide me your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and the respective enormous emissions." Because he doesn't believe in climate change, obviously. Posted a picture of him gassing up his car because he doesn't believe in climate change. Greta Thunberg, obviously, big climate change activist. Well, she wrote back, yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com, which got over, it's one of the biggest, over 2.8 million likes, is one of the top 25 liked tweets of all time. Which immediately, his supporter says, okay, those are bots, obviously. So, in response to that, 10 hours later, Mr. Tate here, in a sort of red Hugh Hefner robe, smoking a cigar, sitting in a wood-paneled, nice-looking room, recorded a 2.5-minute video response to Greta, saying, "Thank you for confirming your email address, that you have a small penis. The world was curious, and I do agree you should get a life, heart." So basically saying, if that's your email address, you admit that you need to get a life. I know what you are, but what am I, basically? And as he's talking, he has had pizza delivered to him. Now, I didn't watch the video because I really can't stand him. But then, I would say, less than 24 hours later, he was arrested. He was arrested in Romania. He was arrested in Romania with his brother. The Romanian police entered his villa, and he was led away in handcuffs with, let's just see here, just so I get the facts right here, charged with human trafficking and various other sexual crimes. Yes, that's right. They say that he's been kidnapping women and making them to do pornographic videos with him. So, now this next part of this story here is not true. The authorities say it's not true. But for 12 hours, it was hilarious that it was reported that the Romanian police were waiting for him to come back to Romania and weren't sure if he was in the country until they saw his video. And gosh darn it, it had Jerry's Pizza on there, which is a popular Romanian pizza chain. And since they saw that pizza box, well, you know what? They knew he was there, and that's how they got him. Turns out not to be true, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, I wish it was. But that did not stop Jerry's Pizza from posting a variety of tweets on it. In the video, Andrew Tate says, "I'm getting pizza delivered, and I'm not recycling these pizza boxes because I want to, I guess, do worse environmental stuff too." So Jerry's Pizzas, for the last 12 hours of the day after, posted a variety of tweets, including, "At Jerry's Pizza, our boxes are always recyclable. At Jerry's Pizza, we deliver swift justice." At Jerry's Pizza said, "Oh, another one bites the crust." Boom. So, did that. Of course, Greta chimed in a bit after his arrest. She said, let's see what she said, just so I can quote her correctly. This is what happens when you don't recycle in pizza boxes." So he's been charged. Apparently he has been released, but I don't think he is allowed to leave the country. He's not allowed to leave the country whatsoever. He did post after his release, "The Matrix sent their agents." He's very big on the Matrix and how the world's not real and being red-pilled and wokeness is a disease and the Matrix, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he's been charged with stuff, and the trillionaire, I guess, will be able to afford a good lawyer. But that was really just pretty funny to me that he decided to pick a fight, got blasted, and then posted the video, and then got arrested. What are you gonna do? Could it happen to a better person? And all of his supporters, oof, the roughest crypto bros one could imagine. No one I would ever want to be stuck in a corner with talking at any social event. We now go to Brazil, where that's actually one of our largest listening populations and whatnot. So I'll try to get in some Brazil stories. But Brazil is making history as it will have its first indigenous woman as chief of a new key post, the new Ministry of Indigenous Peoples in Brazil, with a mandate to oversee policies ranging from land demarcation to healthcare. And her name is Sonia Guerrera. I hope I'm saying that right. Appointed by the new president-elect Luiz Incanho, who beat the ultra right-wing president during the Brazil election, which was some concern he might stage a coup, but apparently not going to happen. She was elected to Congress in October, widely known as the leader of the main umbrella of groups of Brazil's many indigenous tribes, and is a member of the Amazon Garhara. This year she made Time Magazine's annual list of the 100 most influential people in the world. According to her quote, "This is more than a personal achievement, it is a collective achievement of the indigenous people, a historic moment in the reparation of Brazil, a confirmation of Lula's commitment to us." There's obviously a lot of issues with indigenous people in Brazil. There's a lot of illegal logging. They live in the tropical rainforest of Brazil. But their lands, there's a lot of illegal logging, mining, people steal the land. According to indigenous organizations, 20,000 illegal gold miners operating in one part of the Amazon rainforest alone. So hopefully with this person in charge will be someone from the people of that area, trying to bring in the resources they need to have a better life and protect the rainforest of that area. So congratulations, Sonia. I hope you do a great job. She was sworn in wearing wearing a headdress on there and whatnot. So that's great. Just for some trivia facts there, my friends, 13% of Brazil's territory is demarcated as indigenous areas, roughly the size of Colombia. Most of it is in the Amazon and is covered by tropical rainforest. As you know, a buffer against climate change as it absorbs large amounts of carbon dioxide. In other Brazil news, sadly this week, the passing of Pele, soccer legend great Pele, passed away at the age of 82 after a long battle with cancer, surrounded by family in São Paulo. He was diagnosed with cancer in 2021, has been in and out of the hospital for the past year, but for the last 2 months has spent it in the hospital. He was, however, healthy enough from the hospital to watch the 2022 World Cup in his final days, and even posted a congratulations post on his social media page to Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe after their epic Argentina versus France final last weekend. He also wrote an emotional note to Neymar after a huge performance for Brazil earlier in the famed tournament. He is widely regarded as one of the best soccer scorers ever. Cristiano Ronaldo called him the greatest player in soccer history. He joined the Brazil national team when he was only 16 years old. He won his first ever World Cup at the age of 17 in 1958. Went on to lead Brazil in 2 more World Cup titles in 1962 and 1970. The only player to win 3 different World Cups. An incredible athlete, cultural icon. I mean, when people make a terrible shot, someone saying "nice shot, Pele," is something that people say, and that people will probably be saying for decades to come. Anyways, soccer/football great Pele from Brazil passed away this week at the age of 82. Moving along in sports, don't call it a comeback. Rulon Gardner eyes an Olympic comeback at the age of 51. He won the gold medal, upsetting Russia in 2000, and says he wants to come back. According to TMZ Sports, he's been training with the goal to compete in the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Quote, "I still want to give back to the sport that I love, and that's wrestling. When you have a goal like wrestling, it makes you get into shape. So I've lost a substantial amount of weight, getting healthy again, getting back after it, and now it's getting on the mat every day. It hurts like heck, but it's so fun to be able to get out there and throw these young kids around. It's crazy because I'm wrestling kids half my age." So he says he's lost 150 pounds in training. The goal of being able to show he can still compete with the top level wrestlers around the world. He tried to make a comeback in 2012, but missed the maximum weight limit allowed in Olympic trials. It is not unheard of to see an athlete over 50 to compete in the Olympics, but it's often sports that don't require the same physical ability like wrestling. Laura Kraut Laura Kraut at the age of 55 became the oldest U.S. woman to medal since 1904 when she won the silver medal as part of the Esquarian jumping team with Jessica Springsteen and McLean Ward in the Tokyo Games. Sweden's Oscar Swan is the oldest athlete to compete and medal in the Olympics. She won a silver medal at the age of 72 as part of a 100-meter running deer shooting team double shots at the 1920 Games in Stockholm. No idea what that means. More recently, however, Dara Torres was 41 years old when she won 3 silver medals in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Chris Campbell, this is trivia, is the oldest American wrestler to medal at the Olympics. He won the bronze in a freestyle 90-kilogram weight class when he was 37 years old in 1992. So, he's got a bit to go, but you know what? Hey, go for it. Go for it, buddy. So hopefully he'll be able to get in under the weight class, train, qualify, and might see him in Paris in 2024. My friends, it's New Year's Eve, New Year's Day weekend. It's New Year's weekend. It's the New Year's weekend. And my friends, in the evenings, you're going to need some musical accompaniment to celebrate 2023. Boy, you know what? I always wonder, the guy who made the 2000 glasses, like 2000, they wear the sunglasses 2000, did that through 2009. I hope he invested his money. Gosh, he probably made a killing. Anyways, that's a sidetrack. It has nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you, because to make your 2023 the best 2023, you need to have some good music, and there's no one better than my pal DC. He is our in-house DJ here, mixing it up every Friday night at 9 p.m. You don't want to miss out while he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from South Florida every week. And then on Saturdays tonight, New Year's Eve night, he's going to be bringing you DC House Party Saturdays, bringing his freestyling DJing to the max. House Party Saturdays gives you the Miami vibe without actually having to be there. From the top clubs to the bars, DC will bring the party to you. And then on Sunday night, New Year's Day at 10 p.m., it's DC live in effect again. So, just to review, every single weekend, Fridays at 9 p.m., DC live in effect. Saturday nights at 10 p.m., DC House Party Saturdays. And then Sundays at 10 p.m., DC live in effect again, only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. Next up, my friends, we go to the world of politics, another big story that I'm sure you heard of, but boy, it's such a car wreck, I could not stay away from it. My friends, we've all applied for jobs, we've all talked to people about what we do, and occasionally we embellish, I'm sure, but we all know the danger of embellishing your resume on an employer. Like, what if they call your references? What if they do a little digging? You don't want to put something on there that is clearly untrue. Well, a congressman from New York named George Santos is the embodiment of, you know what? Maybe you're not very truthful. So he won his election. It was a landmark election, according to him. An openly gay Jewish immigrant from Brazil, from Wall Street, entering the world of politics at the young age of 34. There are some things that may not be true about that statement. First, he claimed to work for Goldman Sachs and other locations. He didn't actually work for them. He worked for a company that did stuff for them. So he worked something that did stuff for Goldman Sachs, but he didn't exactly work for Goldman Sachs. Okay, hey, a minor detail. He's not Jewish at all. In fact, he is very Catholic, apparently. And he sort of wrote this away by saying, like, no, he didn't mean he was Jewish. He was, like, Jew-ish. Like, hungry, Ish. Like sick-ish. That's what he really meant, despite the fact he had proclaimed himself to be a Jewish American. He said his grandparents fled Europe, fled Ukraine during World War II. Absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. None at all. He is apparently wanted for check fraud in Brazil, although he denies that. Let's see here. What else? He claims to be an openly gay man, but he divorced his wife 2 weeks before he entered the election. Now, to me, that may or may not be a lie. People might discover their developing or new sexuality throughout their life. There's nothing wrong with like, hey, I'm straight. Maybe I'm not. That's fine. But given the pattern here, I can't help but to question that maybe that's a bit of a stretch too. You know, just guessing. Other things that he said that 9/11 took his mother. She passed away in 2015. What he really meant is that the trauma and the dust from 9/11 impacted her health, and that's what eventually happened. But he was saying that 9/11 took her. Apparently 3 years ago, he claimed to have a brain tumor and was getting chemotherapy and set up a fake charity. Now, the most interesting thing that has garnered the, all those things, not illegal. It's not illegal to be a big old D-bag, okay? It just isn't. You can lie all day long. Nothing illegal about lying about who you are. In most cases, okay? Scummy, slimy, can't be trusted. Obviously a terrible... I might be perfect for Congress, but obviously a terrible person. What has garnered the attention of the authorities are two things. First, he apparently created a business in Florida that had no income or value, just like an LLC. But that business lent his campaign he lent himself $700,000 from his business to run his campaign. Question being, where did he get that $700,000? How did that company get $700,000 that he could loan himself? Those are interesting questions. He also said that, also, there's a bit of a question of, is he a U.S. citizen and whatnot? Like, it's really awful to ask people to prove their citizenship, say, it's very bigoted to say, I want to see your birth certificate. However, given that he said his mother died on 9/11, pretended to be Jewish, has a mysterious $700,000 come to him from a business that did no business in Florida, won for check fraud in Brazil, let's see here, claimed to have a brain tumor, said that he owns 13 properties, but provides no proof that he actually owns 13 properties. I think it's a reasonable question to ask whether or not he actually is eligible to be in Congress. I think that is an interesting thing that one should look into, just to be sure, just to make sure that this guy isn't complete. Because once you're in Congress, you do get some security clearances there, so he would have access to things that I don't. So yeah, I think he deserves a wee bit more of examination. Now, of course, people rushing to his defense, Mayor Taylor Greene, Laura Boebert, whatever her name is, Glenn Greenwald, all these people saying, oh, it's the left. The left lies all the time, so what's wrong with this? Okay. Yeah, all right. That's like saying, hey, listen, I broke a pencil, so... No, you broke a pencil. I surely could throw a brick through your window. We both broke things. So this guy is just... what other lies are there? What other lies are there? He said he's only guilty of embellishing resume. That's his only sin. The Republican Jewish Coalition has uninvited him from all future gatherings, saying, CEO Matt Brooks saying, he deceived us and misrepresented his heritage in public comments, and to us personally, he claimed to be Jewish. He began his tenure in Congress on a very wrong note. You think? And then finally, what just caps this whatsoever, in a clip during the election, to his opponent, he's saying, "Are you ever honest, sir? Have you no shame?" And obviously, he's a big old liar. So, will he enter Congress? Probably, because Kevin McCarthy needs all the votes he can get. But boy howdy, on brand. Well done, GOP. Well done. Okay. Moving on to other sort of fraudulent people, or just I consider to be a smidge of a fraud. Elon Musk. This week hit a record that will be hard to beat. Biggest collapse of net wealth in modern history this year. That's right, Elon Musk, who bought Twitter and whatnot, has seen his net worth plummet $200 billion. Yes, more than $200 billion in the last 13 months. One of the biggest losses of wealth in recent history. He lost more than half of his fortune between November 2021 and December, largely due to the collapse of the Tesla stock, losing over $208 billion, roughly equivalent to the GDP of Greece. Okay? He lost as much money as Greece makes in a year. Impressive, Mr. Musk. Impressive. Now, a lot of wealthy people lost money over the last year, but he has lost the most. His peak net worth was $338 billion in November 2021, and just kind of went downhill from there. Tesla, the stock, has lost 70% of its value since 2022, featuring not all due to Twitter, but vehicle recalls, production delays in China, and concerns by the investors that he is entirely too distracted by his new role as the head of Twitter. Tesla's market cap is down nearly $900 billion since last year, causing it to drop out of the top 10 most valuable countries around the world. He's lost a lot of money. Oh boy, so much money. No longer the world's richest man. Now, like I said, a lot of other folks have lost money. Bill Gates' net worth has dropped about $30 billion. Jeff Bezos by about $87 billion. Larry Ellison of Google, $17 billion. Larry Page, also of Google, I think, $47 billion. But boy howdy, Elon, he's the winner. He's the winner there. So we'll see how well that goes. Like I said, the Tesla stock not doing great. Keeps sinking. We'll see how maybe he'll open up Hustler Academy 2 with Andrew Tate. We'll see. I don't know. But listen, if I was a Tesla stock owner, I'd be really upset. Stock was at $400 a share November 2021. It's pushing 100. That is a massive drop in value. And tell you when it started happening, about April, that's when it started to collapse. So we'll see what happens. My friends, while Elon Musk's stock is collapsing, whose stock is always rising in my book is my pal, the incredibly talented, incredibly beautiful Rox. And you need to catch her show, my friends, in 2023. Yes, it's just as good as 2022. It is the Rock Sessions. It's the drive time show we have here, making sure your evening commute home is fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts and some other surprises in between. You know what? I should make a special guest appearance on our show one of these times. Just saying. She will make it rock rock style, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. We now go to Southeast Asia, to Burma/Myanmar, depending on your preferred name of the country, where ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi has been sentenced to 7 more years in jail, bringing her total to 33 years in prison for politically motivated prosecutions. She was the leader of the military-ruled country up until February 2021 when she was deposed in a military coup. She was, quote-unquote, elected president, but the military still remained in charge and have done so since her first election, I believe back in the 90s. She is now 77 years old. She was convicted of allegedly importing illegal devices like walkie-talkies, violating coronavirus restrictions, breaching the country's Secrets Act, sedition, and election fraud as well. Her previous convictions landed her 26 years in prison, and now she's going to do another 7. Obviously, this is an attempt to legitimize the military's seizure of power while promising elections next year. Probably not going to happen. And she was the de facto head of government at the time, holding the title of state counselor, whereas the president was named Win Myint, was also co-defendant in the case. The verdict was built in a purpose-built courtroom in the main prison on the outskirts of the capital, and was made known by a legal official who insisted on anonymity in fear of being punished by authorities. The trial was closed to media, diplomats, and spectators, and her lawyers were all barred from talking about it due to a gag order. So she's going back to jail. Now, she won the Nobel Prize for her fight for democracy in Burma. But she also got a lot of criticism that when she was a state counselor, the military cracked down on its Muslim population in the northern part of the country, and got a lot of heat for that as well. So she's going back to jail. A lot of her supporters are going back to jail. She was under house arrest from 1989 to 2010. Won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1992. Won the 2015 general election, but the military continued to control most of the things going on in that country, and eventually ousted her in 2021. But again, she was criticized for showing deference to the military, ignoring and not acknowledging atrocities committed during the 2017 crackdown of the Muslim Rohingya minority in the northern part of the country. So, looks like they're going back to military government there, and she will again be, be probably placed back under house arrest. And they're promising elections next year. We'll see what happens. Moving along, in some sad news, the Dogue dog, Shiba Inu, the Doge meme, the dog kind of looking to the side, says, "Is this Doge?" Eventually became a joke cryptocurrency that actually had a bit of value. The dog called, I think it's called Kabasu, I think that's the name of the dog, is sick, battling liver disease and leukemia. Yeah. The dog is 17 years old. That's very old for a dog. Apparently, according to Instagram, been taken to the hospital, hadn't been eating or drinking, according to a quote. Had blood tests at the hospital today. The doctor called me this evening and told me I was in a very dangerous condition. I didn't expect it to be that bad, so I'm all white in my head. But Koba-chan has shown us miracles many times before. There is no end to this. The Japanese kindergarten teacher captured in her post who owns the dog. According to the owner, she was diagnosed with acute, cholangiohepatitis and chronic lymphoma leukemia. That's hard. Right now, the liver level is very bad and jaundice appears, but antibiotics will definitely improve. She added that the famous dog already has an appetite and started drinking water this week, which is great. The picture of this dog went viral in 2013 after a photo from her from 2010 with a smirking face, side eyes, and cross paws spread online. Users began referring to the photo as Doge, and the meme was born. Eventually became created for Dogecoin, which was a sort of a joke currency. Later spiked when Elon Musk tweeted that it was the people's currency, and then poof, all over the place. Dogecoin later sponsored the England's Waterford Football Club with a picture of Caboso appearing on the team's jersey. After sharing the news, the internet showered support and prayers for Caboso. It's going to be all right. You have the world praying for you. Stay strong, said one person. Someone else said, "Oh, not yet, man. Not yet. Please pull through." So, 17 is old for a dog. But hopefully we can have a few more years with this cultural icon, the Doge Dog. So, say a little prayer for the internet's favorite, one of the internet's favorite dogs. We now go to Northern California, where vandalism has occurred. Apparently someone has decapitated the statue of Charles Swanson. Who's Charles Swanson, you might ask? I had to look that up myself. Apparently he was a California rancher and meatpacking magnate and had a statue made of him in 1911, and someone decided to take the head off. Tipsters are offered $1,000 to find out what happened to the nearly century-old granite statue of Charles Swanson. The severed head was found on the ground nearby. Police say it is a very bizarre crime. I have no idea why anyone, unless they are vegans, that they don't like meat packers. I find this very bizarre. The statue was a work of late sculptor Ralph Stackpole, famous San Francisco artist during the Great Depression. Swanson was an early Sacramento pioneer and settler. Swanson then became a rancher and started a meat packing business that made him rich. Him and his son in the 1920s commissioned the statue, which was part of a fountain, and donated it to the city after Swanson's death in 1911 at 101 years old. The family ranch was located in what now is William Lance Park. He said, if not for the son's donation, the city would have never likely have put up a piece for Swanson. According to a quote, not that anybody knows who he is, but that's something very special that Sacramento had, and now it's destroyed. So, I'm guessing someone just wanted to destroy a statue and came across an old statue and did it, but come on, Sacramento. Do you have to destroy statues? Let's do like a militant vegan, and they're out there. That's just silly. That's just silly. My friends, if you need a place to go for all your sports needs, we got here on Wednesday night on AWSM Radio. At 9 p.m., it's To the Rack with Mac. He is your go-to person for all things basketball. NBA expert Mac Daddy will join you as he brings you a full hour of high-flying hoops expertise for all things NBA. Tune in Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. for To the Rack with Mac. And then, my friends, it's What's Going On, coming up at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays. It is our Fox Sports affiliate show, providing listeners with over 150 combined years of sports knowledge, hosted by Nate Brown and his crew. They are a staple of Western New York sports for the past 2 decades, and now they're moving national Wednesdays at 10 p.m. So, just to review, it's To the Rack with Mac at 9 p.m., What's Going On at 10 p.m., only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. And finally this week, the reported face of Jack the Ripper was discovered this week. A carving on a cane made by a police officer who reportedly devoted his life trying to figure out who it was found in police archives this week. The cane was known, but it was thought it was lost about 5 or 8 years ago where it was being stored, shut down. But it was recently discovered in the College of Policing's headquarters in Wrighton, West Midlands. So the cane with a terrifying face and eerie eyes was carved based on the only known reported sighting of Jack the Ripper. The policeman, I guess, talked to the person, got the information, and then carved this face into a cane. So, very important piece of historic evidence, and I'm glad they found it. Jack the Ripper, he's probably dead by now, unless he was a vampire. Well, my friends, that's just about all the time we have here this week on the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Happy New Year to you and your entire family whenever you're listening to this. Thank you for joining me here today. Remember, you can find me on various social medias, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Counter Social at Colt S. Taylor. Also on Cameo at Colt S. Taylor. And if you've missed the broadcast of the show, you can check it out at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor, and then twitch.tv/Colt S. Taylor, when I occasionally stream online to say hello. I would always enjoy the attention. Alright, my friends, until next time, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later in 2023. And thank you, my friends, once again for listening to the podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, on AWSM Radio. Once again, check out the links below to AAA for all your travel needs, insurance, roadside assistance, even figure out how to take trips. And for all your social media posting needs, check out socialbee.io. They are who I use to promote myself. They should be who you use as well.